I do, I have that stuff. The finance department window was also addressed at the last workshop, and the finance committee had requested a resolution outlining the hours for the department, and as you were advised, the hours were approved by council due to staff shortage at that time, and right now the same staff shortage exists. The main reason the finance department would like to have time with the window closed at the end of business and the beginning of the day is to close out the cash drawer and to do the deposit. When the window is open, all desks are visible to the public. It's advisable to handle cash for the deposit outside the public eye, and it's advisable to process deposits uninterrupted. Not possible, and that's not possible with the window open. If the window is open 8 to 5, we'll have overtime built into staff working hours every day. So it could go either way. There's a sample resolution that she attached that you've had before. And you guys just have to let us know what you want to do.
Questions from council? Councilman Tyler?
Do you have an idea how much overtime that would be if we go back to full hours?
No. I know I talked to Trent about the possibility of having the window open later 1 or 2 nights a week for those families who can't come in before 4:30. Having been one of those families that has always struggled to get in before 5. So there's options that instead of going straight to, back to 5 days a week, we could do 3 days a week and whatever, unless you guys want to go straight to the 5.
Councilman Tyler?
I have a question. Why would we have overtime if we run it from 8 to 5?
Because they can't count, they would close the window and then count the money. So they would be there past 5.
Why couldn't you count the money in the morning?
They do. They count it in the morning and at night. They have to balance.
Well, why can't they just count in the morning, close and count in the morning?
I don't know. We would have to ask the finance department.
Okay. I think that would be, and we do have a private office in the back where they don't have to be, take the money came to count it. So it's just an option.
As long as there's 2 people there. They could wait and close it and go back.
Okay, Councilman McMahon?
So I think that it's been about 21 months that the window's been open from 9 to 4:30. I've been here longer than 21 months. I don't remember overtime happening prior to that, or not being able to count the cash. I mean, it seemed like.
I think that's the staffing issue.
Okay.
I think it could be resolved.
Okay.
So I guess one of my questions too, and I think we discussed this once before about staggering the hours so that like somebody came in later, so when the window was closed, they have that extra time to, so it would create overtime, and they had the extra time with the window closed to be able to count the money or close out for the day. And it was my understanding too that the union was on board with that as well as staggering the hours.
Right, the union is not opposed to it at all.
So that, if they came in from 8 to 5, this is an 8:30 to 5:30 or whatever,
Right, and that position, the one that has been vacant for a long time, is now available to hire. So I did pose that to Betty as well, that it could be that the hours for that person would be different to fill in. I mean, basically, if you put the hours back, then the employees have to work it out. It's the director's job. We don't base our hours around the employee's work schedule, I guess. I don't know how else to say that. We would fill the positions that we needed to.
I'd be curious to hear the finance committee's thoughts on this. And Councilman Walker's been pretty quiet. What's your issue?
We've spoken quite a bit about Friday, but I'd like to see one of the option of, I'm fine with 9 to 4:30, as long as there's, 1 or 2 days a week that you go for, it doesn't have to be come down at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and stay there.
So then this resolution would go away.
I mean, we could modify it.
Right.
But I'd like to see something that's a little more flexible.
I'm thinking a minimum 8 to 5, that's what the expectation of the citizens of the state is for 8 to 5.
Well, it's never been changed. The only reason it was changed is because of a shortage of staff at the time. It was a temporary fix which never got refixed again for years and years. That was open from 8 to 5, and everything functioned fine, and we had no overtime, we had no disputes, nobody crying or whimpering or nothing. So I would say right now, we still are short of staff in there. Let's just continue the temporary 9 to 4:30, whatever it is right now, and don't fool around making a new resolution and everything else. When we get the full of staff, make it 8 to 5, as it is spelled out to be.
My understanding, the reason we have this resolution coming forward is because we never approved those hours or made a resolution to approve those hours. That's why this came forward.
That
We
is
never
correct, there's never a
approved it.
resolution, but do we have to have a resolution for a temporary change in hours?
Yeah, the code does require any deviation from 8 to 5 to be approved by the council.
By resolution or?
It doesn't specify how, but
Yeah.
if we have it by motion, since it's not on a resolution, can you find it?
Well, it was done by motion last.
Right, and so that's why this whole discussion started it, because there was no documentation on it saying that it was approved, or we couldn't find where it was approved by council, and that's why we have this document in front of us now.
Well, I don't,
Correct?
Yeah, so we would be going, if we don't do this, we would just set a date, we'd be going back to what the code says, correct? Am I understanding correctly? Because the code says 8 to 5.
Right. Or I'm sorry, you're going to make it.
Well, what if we did it in the now therefore piece, in section 3, we then, at the end of it, we said, this resolution shall expire on July 31st. I mean, pick a date, or at such time that, the remaining vacant position in the finance department is filled, whichever comes sooner. So we give them the flexibility that they need for the time being, put a date on it to get that position filled. I mean, if it's a position that council's authorized and we enacted a budget that was sufficient to fund that position, fill it. And, once you fill it, the need goes away, so does the authorization for the limited hours. And if the mayor doesn't fill the position, then, council's not gonna extend these hours for a reason that the mayor's not willing to pay.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Holke?
I'd be inclined to set the date as September 1st rather than July 31st. Maybe there's a little flexibility there.
Posted now. September or until filled.
Right.
That would also
Last
allow.
of September 1st or until vacancies are filled.
Currently, it's minor power.
They would also allow for vacation times because they haven't been able to take their time due to the shortage of staff. So we would have time for training and vacation.
Whichever comes first.
Yeah, that one would be all.
So current vacancies are filled, whichever comes first. I have it all written down back here. on its passage to last until September 1st, 2013, or when current vacancies in finance department are filled, whichever comes first. Is that what you guys want to move forward with?
That would mean it would cease as soon as we hired.
Pardon me?
That means that this would terminate as soon as we hired, not giving any time for training or vacation. The plan is to get it posted right away, not, the mayor is not doing the hiring.
Yeah, but, I mean, we've had.
Can we do July 1st? Well, it's 2 weeks, we have to post for 2 weeks. We have to do the hearing, it's gonna take us a month to get it filled.
But, I mean, we've had training and vacation at the new hires and stuff, 22 months ago. I mean, I don't really feel like we need to post it often. If we've got full staff, I don't know that we need to post the windows early, the 2 things that
Okay.
we've always discussed there.
Any other comments from council? Are we in agreement to move that